Israeli forces have, meanwhile, continued their raids in the occupied West Bank, killing at least 6 Palestinians. 2 were killed when the Israeli military stormed the Tulkarem refugee camp. 3 others were killed in an Israeli drone strike elsewhere in the city. 1 man was also killed in Tulkarem by Israeli forces. Let's get more on this. Zein Basravi is in Ramallah for us. Zein, what more do we know about these ongoing raids that have been taking place in the occupied West Bank overnight?
Well, Tulkarem was definitely the major flashpoint overnight in the occupied West Bank. We saw Israeli special forces move in at around 10 p.m. local time, midnight GMT, with a large force including bulldozers, deploying snipers on rooftops, telling residents to stay indoors, not to come outside while the military operation was ongoing. And it must be said that operation continued into the morning, is still ongoing today. What we know so far, as you said, 6 people killed. Overnight. We know that 12 people were injured and 4 of them remain in critical condition, so it is likely that death toll could go up in coming hours. We know that at least 2 of the victims were gunshot wounds, killed from gunshot wounds. We know that at least 3 of them were killed in an Israeli drone strike. Unclear if it was an unmanned, a kamikaze-style drone, or if it was a conventional drone strike. But we've seen drones being used more and more in these overnight raids in the last few weeks, really signaling the intensification of these nightly raids since the war began on October 7th. We know that those bulldozers have been pulling up roads and destroying surrounding infrastructure, sort of an ongoing problem for these communities across the West Bank when these raids go on. And we know that clashes were underway. These are areas where there are armed fighters, Palestinian fighters, putting up resistance. Residents of those areas are pushing back, often unarmed residents, Palestinians living in these areas, pushing back against these Israeli raids. And overnight, the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade claimed to have used explosive devices in Tulkarem on Israeli positions.
And Zein, there was also a Palestinian killed at a checkpoint around midnight last night. What were the circumstances around that?
That is correct. We're hearing this morning, again, around midnight last night in Beit Hanun village near Hebron, Israeli forces saying that an alleged stabbing attack took place, that a Palestinian, 20 years old, approached a checkpoint. They say that the allegation is that it was an attempted stabbing and that the Israeli soldiers there shot and killed this man. His family was brought in to identify him. The body remains with the Israeli forces. And again, these kinds of stabbing attacks have taken place in the past. We don't know the circumstances exactly around this, but at around midnight, the Israeli forces say that at a checkpoint near Beit Hanun village, a Palestinian man was shot in an alleged stabbing incident.
Thank you for that, Zein Basravi, there for us with that update in Ramallah.